Okay, so we left off in the last video saying that Kant was looking for the supreme ground, the metaphysical ground of all morality, or the metaphysical axiom or assumption of all morality. And he said that axiom is human dignity. Human dignity, or that the idea that human beings have value, is the condition for the possibility of all moral reasoning, judgment, thinking. It's the a priori condition. That is, it's something that we assume axiomatically and bring it to the table in order to engage in the ethical arena, in order to step foot in the ethical arena. We need to assume this axiom. Okay? And think of it this way. If we abstract from all morality, all moral laws, codes, all moral debates, we find one presupposition there. Dignity, right? Worth. That human beings have dignity, that they have worth, that they're what Kant calls ends in themselves. That is, they can never be used as means. Human beings are ends in themselves. We'll come back to that. Okay? But notice this. Human dignity is a metaphysical concept. It's a non-empirical concept. If you were to saw me in half, dignity wouldn't shoot out. You can't find human dignity anywhere in the world. It's something you must assume and bring it to the table. Think, for example, of the Declaration of Independence, right? In the preamble, it says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that everyone's created equal. It's self-evident. It's axiomatic. It's an assumption. It's a presupposition. It's an a priori condition for morality, the idea that human beings have dignity and that everybody's equal. All this stuff, and Kant thinks this is the one condition that gets morality rolling. And he thinks no one's ever thought of it this way until him, that morality is always tried to proceed by way of natural law or by virtue or by character. But Kant says there's actually a category that human beings have been playing with since the beginning of time, and that category is that human beings have dignity. Or another way of putting it is we have worth. Or another way of putting it is we're persons, okay? And since we're persons, we demand respect, okay? We demand respect. And he thinks then that the idea of personhood and the idea of demanding respect and the idea that we have dignity are all tied together. And another way he puts this is, and this is related to the German word for worth, the German word for worth is also related to the word for freedom or will. And he thinks because we have something like a free will, we can self-determine, right? That means I cannot and you cannot thwart my will and I can't thwart your will. In other words, I demand respect because I'm a free, rational being. You demand respect because you're a free, rational being. And because you're a free, rational being, you have dignity. So dignity demands respect because it's free. These are all the same concept for him. It's just looking at the same concept, human dignity, from different angles. We're dignified because we have freedom. And because we have freedom, we're persons. And because we're persons, we demand respect. And because of that, we have dignity. It's all the same thing for Kant, okay? And he thinks that if you were to put this, if you were to take this axiom of dignity, this axiom that human beings are freedom, this self-evident axiom, okay? If you were to take this, which by the way is a key Enlightenment concept. America is founded on Enlightenment ideals, Enlightenment philosophy. It's this idea that human beings have dignity and worth and that it's self-evident is a key Enlightenment concept. If you were to take this and articulate this in a rule form, you would get what's called the categorical imperative. The categorical imperative. And an imperative is just a demand, and categorically means absolutely, right? It's categorical. When you say, I categorically deny, it means I absolutely deny it. In other words, if you were to, the awareness we have of this idea that all human beings have dignity puts a categorical demand on us, a categorical imperative on us, and it says, I must respect persons. If I see another person, I must respect them. So the categorical imperative for Kant is the awareness of the moral obligation we have when I encounter another human being of worth, of dignity, of personhood. And Kant says, if I were to articulate that, it would go something like this. Always act so that you treat human beings as an end and never merely as a means. Always act so that you treat human beings as ends and never merely as means. What does that mean? It means once I come up to another person and I come across another person, I see their personhood, I see their freedom, I realize I can't use them. I have to treat them as a person, as an end in themselves. I can never use them as a means to my ends, and they can never use me as a means to their ends. In other words, this awareness we have that is the condition of all morality, is human dignity, is personhood, is respect, is worth. At the same time, this awareness, it puts a demand on me. a demand that I respect it, that I treat human beings as worth and as worthy and dignified and free and as ends in themselves. So the categorical imperative is the articulation of this awareness of human dignity that we have, and it puts a moral demand on me categorically that I respect other people, respect their freedom, and treat them in a dignified way. This is the ground of all ethics for Kant. This is the axiomatic assumption, the metaphysical condition for possibility: human dignity, worth, personhood, freedom. Okay? It's a very easy concept. It sort of goes in a circle here. And it's sort of intuitive. It's something that, as Americans, we just assume because the country is founded on these ideals. Okay?